Think insomnia is only caused by stress? Not quite. Many adults are quietly wrecking their sleep at the dinner table every night. In this video, you'll learn what to eat, what to avoid, and how to sleep deeper naturally. Welcome to the Fresh Fuel Guide. If you often lie awake for hours, wake up in the middle of the night, or still feel exhausted in the morning, the problem may not be only in your mind, but also in what you eat every day. Research suggests that caffeine, alcohol, and late heavy dinners can reduce sleep quality, while some foods, such as kiwifruit, tart cherries, fatty fish, and magnesium-rich foods, may support better sleep, though the strength of evidence varies across groups. In this video, you and Emma will explore how to eat more strategically to sleep more deeply and wake up feeling better. Number 1. Foods that harm your sleep. Insomnia does not always begin with stress or aging. Sometimes the real cause is sitting right in your cup or on your dinner plate after the afternoon ends. The most familiar culprit is caffeine. Adenosine builds up in the brain throughout the day, creating sleep pressure, while caffeine blocks that signal and keeps the brain in a more alert state. That is why many people think they only had a small cup late in the day, yet still spend the night tossing and turning, struggling to fall asleep, or sleeping lightly. Research shows that caffeine consumed too close to bedtime can prolong sleep onset, reduce total sleep time, and make sleep more shallow. But that is not the whole story, because alcoholic drinks can mislead the body in an even more subtle way. Many people believe a little alcohol helps them sleep because it makes them feel drowsier faster at first. In reality, alcohol may help shorten sleep onset in the first part of the night, but it often fragments sleep later, increases nighttime awakenings, reduces sleep depth, and leaves people tired the next morning. In some cases, sleep after alcohol is also linked to sweating, a racing heart, or restlessness as blood alcohol levels fall. In other words, alcohol does not repair sleep, it distorts it in a way that can feel deceptively restful. Once we understand the effects of stimulating drinks, the next question is even more important. Can food also quietly disrupt sleep? Yes, it can. Heavy dinners, high-fat meals, or eating too close to bedtime force the body to keep digesting at the very time it should be cooling down for rest. That does not just create fullness and discomfort, it can also raise the risk of acid reflux, which is one of the most common but overlooked reasons behind persistent poor sleep. As for foods like aged cheese or processed meats, they contain more tyramine, a compound that may stimulate the release of wake-promoting neurotransmitters in sensitive individuals. So the real question for people with insomnia is not only, what should I eat to sleep better? But also, what am I eating or drinking that keeps my brain and digestive system from resting? And that is only the first side of the issue. Because once those sleep disruptors are removed, the next step becomes even more powerful. Which foods may actually help the body move into sleep more naturally? Number 2. Food groups that support better sleep. Once the hidden sleep disruptors are reduced, the next step becomes far more important. Adding foods that may help the body relax more easily and maintain a more stable sleep structure throughout the night. This is also where many people misunderstand the issue. There is no single food that can cure insomnia in a single evening. Real improvement comes from building an eating pattern that supports the nervous system, circadian rhythm, and the body's ability to settle into rest in a coordinated way. The first group worth focusing on is foods rich in magnesium and potassium. Magnesium is involved in many important processes related to nerve activity and muscle relaxation. And it is also connected with the GABA system, a neurotransmitter system that helps reduce stimulation and prepare the body for sleep. That is why dark leafy greens, legumes, almonds, and many seeds are not only beneficial for overall health, but also valuable in the diet of people who regularly struggle with sleep. Potassium from bananas and avocados may also support muscle function and help reduce nighttime cramping or discomfort in some individuals, making it easier for the body to fully relax. But the value of sleep-supportive foods extends beyond minerals, as some fruits linked to melatonin and serotonin are also worth adding to the menu. Tart cherries are a standout example because they contain plant melatonin along with antioxidant compounds. Some small studies suggest that tart cherries or tart cherry juice may be associated with improvements in sleep duration and sleep quality in certain groups. Kiwifruit is another notable option. In small-scale studies, eating kiwi in the evening has been associated with falling asleep faster and sleeping more efficiently. Possibly because of its combination of serotonin, antioxidants, and other micronutrients. These foods, of course, should be viewed as natural support tools, not as replacements for medical care when insomnia has become persistent. Another important piece many people overlook is omega-3 fatty acids from oily fish. Fish such as salmon and herring provide EPA and DHA, fatty acids that have been linked in some studies to brain function, inflammation, and circadian regulation. Put more simply, they do not make you sleepy instantly, but they may help the body recognize rest timing more effectively and support a more stable sleep structure over time. When these food groups are regularly included in the diet, the body may have a much better biological environment for deeper, more consistent sleep. Put differently, people with insomnia should not fixate on finding one sleep-inducing food. They need a broader nutritional foundation that supports the nervous system, muscle relaxation, and the body clock simultaneously. And once you know which foods deserve priority, the next part becomes even more practical: when to eat, how to structure dinner, and how to manage fluids so sleep is no longer being quietly disrupted. Number 3. A healthy eating pattern for people with insomnia. Knowing what to avoid and what to prioritize is only half the story. The other half, and the part that often determines real results, lies in how you structure your entire evening eating pattern. Even healthy food can interfere with sleep when it is eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, or in the wrong context. That is why people with insomnia should not focus on one isolated food. They need a coordinated eating routine that helps the body naturally move into a restful state. Recent reviews suggest that a short gap between the last meal and bedtime, as well as heavy evening meals, is often associated with poorer sleep quality. Dinner should ideally be finished about 3 hours before bedtime, allowing time for digestion before the body prepares for sleep. Eating too close to bedtime, especially a greasy or large meal, forces the body to digest while preparing for sleep, which does not work well together. Fullness, heartburn, reflux, or active digestion can make falling and staying asleep harder. For those who often toss and turn, eating earlier may be more effective than focusing on so-called sleep foods. The next step is to favor a lighter, easily digested dinner with moderate fiber. A practical meal might include vegetables, a moderate protein portion from fish or plant sources, and a small serving of whole grains to help stabilize energy overnight. The goal is to avoid both going to bed hungry and meals that require excessive digestion. If hungry near bedtime, a simple snack like a banana, yogurt, boiled egg, or cereal is preferable to making late-night cravings a second heavy meal. This is more reasonable than assigning your stomach a night shift of heavy foods or sweets. Another thing people often underestimate is proper hydration. Dehydration is obviously not helpful for overall health, but drinking too much liquid close to bedtime can make you wake up repeatedly during the night to use the bathroom, fragmenting sleep in the process. A smarter strategy is to drink enough throughout the day and then gradually reduce fluid intake later in the evening, instead of trying to catch up at night as if your body were an unpaid bill. For people with insomnia, repeated nighttime awakenings can quietly reduce the restorative value of sleep. More importantly, if you choose a drink in the evening, it should be caffeine-free, because one small mistake there can easily undo all your effort. There is also room for herbal tea as a gentle evening support tool. Chamomile tea is the best known example, not because it acts like a sleeping pill, but because it contains apigenin, a flavonoid thought to interact with receptors involved in relaxation. Current evidence suggests that chamomile may offer modest benefits in some people, especially by promoting calmness and improving aspects of sleep quality. But it should still be considered a mild supportive option rather than a miracle fix. In other words, herbal tea may help the body settle down, but the clearest benefit still comes when it is combined with sensible meal timing and a dinner that is not overly heavy. People with insomnia do not need a perfect diet. Instead, aim for an evening routine that aligns your brain, stomach, and body clock. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more science-based content on nutrition, sleep, and health. Stay tuned for a simple action plan you can start using tonight. After everything, the most important message to remember is this: insomnia is not only a nervous system problem. It is also a problem of how you eat in the evening. When you reduce late caffeine and alcohol, avoid heavy meals too close to bedtime, and give more room to foods that may support relaxation, such as leafy greens, nuts, kiwifruit, tart cherries, and fatty fish, your body has a better chance of moving into sleep naturally. More importantly, even a few small changes, such as eating dinner earlier, keeping it lighter, and managing fluids more wisely, can gradually improve sleep quality. That is not a miracle. It is simply how the body responds when you stop working against its biology. If you feel the ideas in this video are worth putting into practice, please share them with family, friends, or anyone who regularly struggles with sleep, so more people can take better care of their sleep in a smarter way. And I would also love to know this: which habit affects your sleep more often? Late coffee or eating dinner too close to bedtime? Comment coffee or late dinner below so I can see your answer, and I will read and respond to your questions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Wishing you strong health and truly restful sleep.